welcome back to Human Design Time Gate Series, Gate 30, the Gate of Feeling. Before we get into Gate 30, if you have any questions and want to know more about your human design, like and follow. Let's get in touch with each other so we can get your design going to get you into flow state. The more and more you know the map of yourself, the more you're going to find the directions of where you want to go. So, Gate 30. The emotional depth of Gate 30 has to do with being a human and understanding what it's like being a human. Understanding emotional depth and what it's like to have meaningful experiences and what it's like to be emotionally authentic as to transform and mutate the community. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the lines and how they are energetically involved through this gate. Here are the lines that are represented vibrationally through the gate. If you're not sure about what your lines are, generally they're going to be on the top left side of your body graph. The first number is your conscious, and the second number is the unconscious, the whisper aspect of your design. Conscious is a black line, unconscious is red lines. And sometimes through the gate, you can have a red and black line, meaning both conscious and unconscious, meaning that you're affected. So understand both those lines if it means that. Now, let's start with the emotional depth. The three things I mentioned before, they all tie together because the more they understand the emotional depth of what it is to be a human, the more they can enjoy their life as a human. I'm sure you've met someone before when they're like, I just don't feel like I'm part of this. I just don't feel human. I don't feel part. And what it is more likely that's someone who hasn't tapped into the depth of the emotion involved. But with emotional depth comes meaningful connections and meaningful experiences. Individuals who do not have this gate defined will experience a play in pretty a basic way, enjoyed it as a good time, and that's how they would review it. Someone who has this gate defined and watched the same play took in so many different things, the depth. They even probably got emotional during the play, depending on what kind of value it was. I mentioned before also that authenticity with the emotion is vital if they can get there. If they can get past the traumas of being told, stop being so emotional and so forth and so on. The reason being is that energy, that mutative emotional energy that makes others feel uncomfortable for a reason. You need to feel uncomfortable sometimes to grow. And these individuals who are a beacon of emotional just boom, their job, in essence, as the design, is to just affect others with that energy, to mutate who's going around, to allow others to see what it's like to be an open, flowing, emotional human, which is okay. Now, with this emotional depth, on the flip side will be emotional turmoil. You're going to become frustrated. Confusion is going to happen more often because we're not listening to the waves. We're not listening to the emotion. And depending on what other gates are defined, could be faltering with that. Now, in that process, you're going to feel the waves more intensely. So anyone who has a defined solar plex is going to feel waves. That's how the emotions work in the solar plex. But with this gate on the shadow aspect, you're going to feel the highs and the lows way more intensely and not getting that middle ground where that's where decision-making happens, is in that middle area. And that's going to happen less and less when we're in that shadow aspect. The way to get out of that shadow aspect is simply going into like a coffee shop or another area where other human designs are going to be around. That way that you can connect your gate to the root gate and make that complete channel where it will look like this. Here is the channel going from gate 30 to gate 41 of the root. When you have this defined as the channel, it's going to be a much easier time staying in the depth of emotion and not getting lost, confused, or frustrated. And right here is the hanging gate, whereas a lot easier to become frustrated, lost in the emotion, going into the waves, the highs and the lows. Where this would be hanging. This is where you'd want to go around other people to connect it to the channel. Thank you so much for sticking around for today's Gate series. If you want to know more about your human design, let's get in contact. There is no reason why you do not have to have an easier flow-like life instead of just going into challenges blind. Thank you so much. Namaste.